Hello everyone. In this issue, I would like to share with you some little-known facts about Muhammad Ali Pasha, an amazing man who ruled Egypt during the Ottoman Empire and laid the foundation of modern Egypt. Many of you have heard of his name, but there are actually many shocking facts that you may not be aware of. Born in 1769 in Kavala, then an Ottoman territory, in what is now Greek territory, he was the son of a merchant of Albanian descent. In fact, Muhammad Ali's boyhood was not a privileged one. His father died when he was 16 years old, and he began working in the tobacco trade under the patronage of local influential people. This experience became the basis for his later business acumen. Then came a turning point in his destiny. In 1798, the Ottoman Empire decided to send an Albanian army to fight against Napoleon's expedition to Egypt. At that time, no one could have imagined that the son of this one merchant would later become the ruler of Egypt and change the history of the Middle East. Interestingly, it is said that Muhammad Ali could not read or write at that time. He began learning to read and write after the age of 30 and later became fluent in several languages. This could be said to be a pioneer of what we call relearning today. Chapter 1. The surprising development to the seizure of power. Muhammad Ali's arrival in Egypt was truly a time of chaos. After the withdrawal of the French army, the Ottoman Empire, Mamluk forces, and local influential figures were all jostling for power. The political skills he showed here were truly remarkable. First of all, he distinguished himself in the Albanian army and won strong support from his subordinates. How? It was the fair distribution of salaries and his meticulous attention to his subordinates. This attitude, which could be called democratic, was rare in the military of the time, and was a major factor in his popularity. Even more interesting is his diplomatic strategy. He took different approaches to the Mamluks, the Ottoman officials, and the local authorities. For example, he was cooperative with the Mamluks on the surface, but behind the scenes he worked to divide them. Particularly noteworthy are his measures against the people. At the time, popular discontent was rising in Cairo due to soaring food prices. Muhammad Ali invested his own private fortune to distribute food to the poor. In addition, after Friday prayers, Muhammad Ali held a dialogue with the people and listened to their voices. It was a revolutionary method of governance at the time, similar to today's interactive communication on social networking sites. In 1811, he finally succeeded in clearing out the Mamluks, who were his biggest rivals. It is not widely known that this was not a mere military conquest, but the result of meticulous planning and psychological warfare. Before the famous Mamluk hunt, at the Cairo citadel, the division of the Mamluk forces in various regions and the identification of which forces to ally with had already been completed. Chapter 2. Amazing reform policies. Muhammad Ali's reforms were tremendously progressive for their time. In particular, his reforms in the educational system were unprecedented in the history of the Middle East. First, in 1816, he sent the first foreign students to Italy. This proved to be a great success, and the school expanded even further. Between 1826 and 1849, the program sent more than 350 young people to Europe. What is remarkable is the diversity of the fields of study of the foreign students. Not only medicine, engineering, and agriculture, but also printing technology, shipbuilding, mineralogy, and even music. They strategically selected fields that did not exist in Egypt at that time and trained human resources in them. Let me tell you an interesting episode. In 1832, some medical students sent to Paris refused to take anatomy training. This was because they thought it was against the teachings of Islam. When Muhammad Ali learned of this, he consulted with Islamic jurists in Cairo and had them issue a legal opinion that dissection for the advancement of medicine was acceptable. This flexibility is the essence of his reformist approach. Along with educational reform, another important aspect is the modernization of industry. He was particularly committed to the development of the cotton industry, importing the latest spinning machines from England. What was even more revolutionary was that he simultaneously began training technicians who could repair and duplicate these machines. Agricultural reforms also produced notable results. The cultivation of long fiber cotton was introduced, which later became the foundation of the Egyptian economy. Moreover, he not only changed the crops, but also implemented comprehensive agricultural reforms, including the development of irrigation systems, technical guidance to farmers, and even quality control of crops. Media reform cannot be overlooked. The Egyptian Gazette, first published in 1828, was bilingual, Arabic and Turkish, and reported government policies and international news. It was the first periodical in the Middle East. In addition, the company established a printing house in Cairo and was active in the translation and publication of textbooks and technical books. Chapter 3. Unknown Personal Life and Character. Muhammad Ali's personal life hides many unexpected aspects. First, his lifestyle was extremely regimented. He woke up at 4 a.m. every morning, had a simple breakfast, and began his work before sunrise. At night, he went to bed at 8 a.m., which is what we would call the early bird lifestyle today. His diet was also interesting. He was a big coffee drinker, especially mocha coffee from Yemen. It is recorded that he drank more than 20 cups a day. However, his diet itself was simple, and his favorite food was traditional Albanian mutton. His hobbies also had a surprising aspect. In the gardens of the Shobra Palace, he grew various varieties of roses imported from Europe. He was especially fond of white roses, and it is recorded that he gave detailed instructions to the gardeners on how to grow them. He also had a family-oriented side. He was especially devoted to the education of his sons, inviting European teachers to come and teach them directly. Moreover, he emphasizes not only academic study but also practical experience. He gave his sons practical experience in administrative and military settings from a young age. What is interesting is his willingness to learn. He began learning French when he was over 50 years old and was eager to learn new agricultural and industrial techniques even when he was nearly 60 years old. His life was a true example of learning never ends. There is also a surprising record of his personality. He was usually mild-mannered and flexible enough to listen to the opinions of his subordinates. However, once he made a decision, he was adamant about not giving in. This balance between flexibility and strength may have been one of the reasons he was able to maintain a long-term administration. In 1848, Muhammad Ali began to show symptoms of dementia and was forced to retire from political office. He ended his tumultuous life on August 2, 1849, at the age of 80. His life, which has been called the father of Egypt's modernization, is a true testament to the fact that hard work always pays off. Now that we have introduced the tumultuous life of Muhammad Ali, the legacy he left behind remains strong in modern Egypt. Walking the streets of Cairo, you will see buildings and streets named after Muhammad Ali everywhere. In particular, the Muhammad Ali Mosque, located in the Cairo Citadel, is still a popular spot visited by many tourists. Its beautiful Ottoman-style architecture conveys his grand vision to this day. The educational reforms he initiated became the foundation of modern education in Egypt. The higher education institution that became the predecessor of Cairo University was also established during his time. The cultivation of long fiber cotton, which he promoted, is still Egypt's major export. From the son of a tobacco merchant to the great leader of Egypt's modernization, the life of Muhammad Ali has much to teach us. How did you like this video? If you liked it, please subscribe to our channel and click the good button. See you again in the next video.